Good afternoon, and thank you for tuning in for the launch of our brand new application called Sightreader. This is a place where you can supplement learning a brand new instrument and take your performance game to a whole new level. My name is Samit, and it gives me great pleasure in welcoming you all here today. Here are the superstars that have made this dream application come to life. We have Oliver, one of the most technically resilient and hardworking individuals that I've worked with. He's the definition of a completionist. We have Zainab, who has shown tremendous capability, and for the 12 weeks that I've got to work with her, I can say for sure that any hiring company would be lucky to have her in their team. Then we have Thanthi, a true go-getter, hardworking, and exemplary individual who motivates a team like no one else. Finally, there's me, who proudly project manage this team and has had the pleasure of working with this lovely bunch of developers. Now, you may have noticed that I've missed someone. This individual has played a core role in the development of this app. This is Anthony, a co-founder, good friend, and the inspiration behind this project. Anthony not only has a brilliant mind for technology, but is someone who is an exceptional musical talent. His efforts have taken him from music schools in Hong Kong to setting up shop here in the UK, where he till this day teaches students of all abilities. Anthony is a big believer of the lifelong attributes that learning an instrument has. But his question is, why doesn't everyone continue to play? Now, analyzing the data for why people stop practicing range across the board, but by far the overwhelming majority was the lack of quantifiable progress. People want to learn faster than ever before, and students want that instant gratification. But like any skill, picking up an instrument can be very difficult. The aim of this app, therefore, is to improve the core skills of sight reading. Becoming proficient in this skill is an obstacle that, when learnt sooner, can rapidly improve the rate of learning new music and to have a better understanding as a whole. Now, Anthony sees this problem on a near daily basis with his students, and with his undeterred motivation, provided the foundations of an idea that I, amongst a whole team of developers, are hugely proud to announce. So without further ado, I welcome Anthony to the stage. Thank you.
Thanks, Samit. Hello everyone, my name is Anthony, and this is my dream app that comes to life through the efforts of my team and mentorship of the Fosse Academy. I promised my student that they get A grades, so I hope now there's no excuse. Here is the user journey of this app. I want to introduce you to Matilda, who is a relatively new student of the piano and someone who shows great interest in learning. Matilda can access this application by registering a new account and logging into the site. Here she will immediately be greeted by the familiar interface, which aims to mimic the real-world stave that she would be using from music lessons. Matilda can effortlessly begin practicing reading music, which is a great revision tool away from the classroom. Let's see how she gets on with this task. Using a state-of-the-art algorithm, this application can use real-time pitch recognition to identify the correct frequency of the notes that Matilda is playing. That means not only piano, but all kinds of instruments are compatible with this application. Matilda can use the visual cues of the score, play her instrument, and get an instant result, all whilst set in the comfort of her bedroom. She can even optimize her learning by tweaking the setting and filtering through an array of musical concepts she's learned in school so far. There are in fact billions of different combinations of notes that can be practiced here, thus making the learning experience exceptionally high. The learning doesn't stop here though. Matilda can access her profile dashboard and see her assignment tailor-made by her awesome teacher. That's me, by the way. Here she can view any completed assignments, overdue work, and whenever she needs, she can use live chat to ask any specific questions directly to me. Let's take a look at what she will be learning this week. Here she can access her work set out by the teacher. She is able to select any outstanding work and begin playing notes right away. We have spent some time here to build in a timer function that records the rate at which the user is able to reach notes and play them back into the recorder. Because this app looks to improve sight reading, the time in which it takes for a student to perform a sequence of notes will relate to a scoreboard. The scoreboard showcases the fastest readers on the application as well as the most consistent practitioners. Best of all, she can now compare her results with her friends, share her experience, and continue to learn in a social way. Now, as a teacher, I want to be able to see the progress of my students away from the classroom. This is where I will use my separate teacher login to see reports and change the way I set assignments so that the learning environment is optimized. Sightreader is truly an amazing application, and we can't wait to see how our user experience a new way to learn. Thank you very much. My name is Anthony. Always keep learning. Over to you, Zainab.
Thank you, Anthony, for that lovely demo. Let me tell you all about how we got to this stage. After Anthony shared his vision on this application, it was clear that we needed a pretty complex app, but having a defined end goal was essential. We conducted a stakeholder analysis and identified pain points of sight reading and learning instrument in general. From here, we found that we needed the app to be engaging in order to help motivate students to continue learning music, as well as providing a genuine solution to how students can practice reading music. By having other features like assignments and messaging, this app also is able to create a more well-rounded user experience for both students and teachers. Thus, we were able to hone in on what the app would achieve by listing these three distinct characteristics. We began by creating wireframes followed by ER diagrams. This helped us visualize the structure of the database and the relations between students, teachers, and their friends. This also helped us to map out how different components would interact. Once this was established, we were able to assign roles, and we used tools such as Kanban boards to keep tabs on the progress and work through the foundations of the application. Using Agile methodology, we were able to keep on top of the workload and could easily identify any problems and how to solve them. And now I will pass on to Oliver, who will talk us through the technologies of Sightreader.
Thank you, Zainab. So I will talk you through some significant code that we have written and talking about the technologies we have used as well. So on the front end, we use Vite for our development server, React for building the front end, and vTest for testing. On the back end, we used Express and Socket.io to build a backend server, Postgres for the database, and Jest and Supertest for testing. So here I will talk about how we detect the note for the challenge and assignment portion of the app. On line 197, we use an autocorrelation algorithm to detect the pitch. This compares the sound signal to itself, offset by a small period of time, and detects the similarity in signal change. Once the correlation reaches a maximum, we measure the time between samples. As sound waves are periodic, this time is taken as the time period of the wave, which we can then use to calculate the frequency of the notes played. On line 203, we then use the frequency to calculate which note has been played. If the note played is correct, on line 209, we change the is correct characteristic of the current note to true, which changes the color of the note on the stave to green. So on the left part of the screen is a large part of our scoring algorithm. We wanted users of our app to be able to measure their performance in assignments, not just as a measure of the time taken, but also the difficulty of their assignment. Difficulty is measured by the range of notes that are available to be shown on screen, and if the set of notes are random. If the notes within the assignment are randomly produced, then the score is multiplied by 1.5 to reflect this increase in difficulty. The graph on the right of the screen shows the score per note as a function of time in seconds. The red line represents the easiest possible difficulty, and the blue line represents the hardest possible difficulty. Thank you for listening. I'd like to now pass over to Shanti to talk about testing.
Thank you, Oliver. Hello, everyone. I've been working on the testing side of this application, and we have achieved 72% coverage across the app, but this didn't come without challenges. Testing was particularly troublesome for us on the front end, and overcoming this was hugely motivating for us. Achieving comprehensive test coverage was challenging due to the intricacies of the components' interaction, which was leading to the blind spots in the tests. We overcame it by identifying the critical parts and core functionalities of the component. Perhaps the biggest hurdle was to build and integrate the pitch recognition to work seamlessly in real time. We found that the algorithm we were using for pitch detection was too sensitive and could be triggered by small amounts of background noise. And so we had to reduce the sensitivity and found this worked much better. I hope I answered your question, Julia. We also encountered a challenge when retrieving data from the backend for the assignments, notifications, friends, and chat features. We found that using 5 simultaneous GET requests was quite slow and provided a poor user experience. To address this, we leveraged our existing WebSocket connection to transmit and receive data. Initially, we were only utilizing this technology to send and receive messages, but using it for all of the data provided a significant improvement in speed and user experience. For future features, we want to do more for this app as we truly believe in its outreach. So we wish to add the following. Firstly, we want to cater to a greater number of instruments so that we can help more musicians. To achieve this, we need to increase the fidelity through a greater number of clefs. We also wish to enhance the user experience and improve the social aspect by adding in voice chat. Another feature could allow user to create customized staff with other key signatures. Lastly, we can increase user engagement by adding a daily challenges feature that can encourage users to keep coming back to practice. Thank you. We have been Sightreader. We would like you to invite to visit our website and use our app. We will also open the floor for any questions.
Thank you so much, team. I'm just going to say 2 weeks again to everyone. I can't really keep up with the chat. It went crazy for a while there. And to be honest, it went crazy really before you even did the demo. But just so many comments about how good an idea this is, how cohesive it feels, how complete it already feels, to be perfectly honest. Let's go with a couple of different questions. There's a couple of questions sort of around the theme of accessibility, really. Have you considered how your site could be used by someone who was, for example, colorblind?
Yep, I'll take that one. Great question. I think someone in the chat also asked that question as well. Yeah, so we have thought about this, and it's something that we've already started to build into the back end to try and get this functionality out there. We're thinking of adding like a ping notification sound that when a correct note has been played, a user can then go ahead and use that as an identification tool to let them know that they've correctly completed the challenge. We also have started using the application in a way so that, or programming the application in a way that once it is done and completed, it will automatically move to the next page so that the user can continue with their challenges.
Thank you so much, Samit. Another question here from Anna. Hi, Anna. A question really about grading. Are there any options or plans for options segregating sections of the app by grade, for example?
So the grade here is mainly targeting towards beginners and intermediate level, because we have designed this the notes could be appended 1 by 1 or 2 by 2 in certain patterns. So it's mainly like recognizing a certain pattern to let the student be able to recognize, you know, a basic, let's say, alphabet base in the accompanying part, or a certain scale pattern going ups and downs. So the students is not reading 1 by 1, basically a note by a note. So they will eventually move on to like easier pieces for a higher grade in sight reading.
Lovely, amazing. Thank you so much, Anthony. Marcel, I've seen your question. I'm going to ask the team to try and answer that in the chat if they can a little bit later. We're going to need to move on because of time. So that was Team Sightreader. We're going to move on now, and we've got a new product for you called Cat Care. Now, Cat Care, our project